Welcome to the Steve Champagne Radio Show. Welcome, Sleep Token fans, the I Love Music Army. I'm so excited to have you be a part of this particular video. And for those of people that have subscribed, welcome back to the channel, because we're going to dive into something that really I've been excited about. And this new album from Sleep Token, even in Arcadia. I've been following Sleep Token since their last album. I'm not a fan from the beginning. I do not know that music at this time, but I did like the last record. And, I don't know the entire history, but I bet you do. I bet there's Sleep Token fans watching this video that are willing to give me a big education, and I can't wait to hear that. That's why we have a comment section down there. You guys can explain some stuff to me, because this band is mysterious, mischievous, mystical, magical, talented. I can't say enough about this band, and they're one of a kind in my view. They're not, let me just put it this way. You know, a lot of people say a certain band's heavy metal, or certain band's rock, or a certain band's punk, or a certain band. This band has its own genre, as far as I'm concerned, and it's part of something new that's really been going on. You know, Ghost has got the masks and all this. And Sleep Token has taken it a step further. But we're going to review this album here, and I'm glad you decided to join us for it. So for those people out there that are fans, I would appreciate the education if you choose to do so, because I read every single comment, and I can't wait to be educated on a subject that I'm interested in, but really don't know that much about. So there's my disclaimer. All right, let's dive into this record and see where it goes. I almost forgot to mention that not only am I going to review or react to this record, but I'm going to rate it at the end. And I'll tell you my rating. It's a 5-star rating kind of system. I'll tell you how I rate it, what the ratings are, and we'll do that at the very end of the video. But let's just get to this video, shall we? All right, so when you listen to this record in order, which is what I wanted to do, especially with a band like this, the first song, Look to Winward, okay, it starts off with this mellow thing, and it's got some great lyrics and some melody, and then, of course, they pick it up towards, I don't know, halfway point. Some big, powerful, guitar comes in, detuned very low. The drums start crushing in, and I was listening to it, and I wasn't that impressed. And the reason for that is because I knew what the next song was, and I have already heard it since they released it about a month or two ago, and that's Emergence, which I thought was fantastic. So really, if you compare, in my opinion, the two songs, Emergence to Look to Winward doesn't have a chance. But after listening to the entire album, you understand why that song was first, why it was put there, why it was placed there, because lyrical content and stuff like that. But I still don't like it as much as Emergence. Spoiler right now, I think Emergence may be the best song on the album. I don't know. We'll see how this review plays out, shall we? But let's get to the third track, Past Self. And here's where it gets very interesting, at least for me. I think of this band primarily as some type of rock band, and Past Self sounds like it could be on commercial top 40 radio. That's just how I feel about the song. It was like nothing I've ever heard from this band, not even remotely close. It would not surprise me if the song became a big hit on pop radio because of the band's cult following, and I say that affectionately. And the rock music, this song could be transcendental. I like what they did with the drums. It was very simple. It was very laid back. It had a great medley. They didn't overplay on the song, meaning that they didn't put a bunch of instruments. They gave the song exactly what it needed, and that's what I think of Past Self. But we get to the next song on the album, which is Dangerous, okay? And here we go again, okay, with the diversity of this band. You have Emergency, which is completely different. I'm sorry, Emergency. See, I can't even speak right here. That's how you know my reactions are real. I don't edit these things. I make a mistake, boom, it comes out. Emergence doesn't sound anything like Past Self, and Past Self doesn't sound anything like Dangerous. This is the greatness of this band in my view. I loved it. I thought Dangerous was a great song. I loved the soft guitar intro, and then boom, they punch you. I think it's better than Look to Winward. Even though they did the same thing in Look to Winward, I think Dangerous is a better song. That's just me. All right, so now we're going to get to the next track, which is Caramel. And the standout thing for me on this song, although this is a good song, I'm not going to dispute that. I don't know how I truly feel about this song, except one thing I can tell you for absolute certainty. The drums, to me. Now, this is where you really get to see the talent of what a good drummer and the syncopated beats that they can provide to give a song life versus a drum machine. All right, so we get to the next track on the album, Even in Arcadia, the title track here. Usually, I mean, back in my day, the title track was always the first song on the album, but they decided to push it back a little further. What did I think of the song? Okay, well, I don't think I could fairly tell you how I feel about the song because it was kind of boring at the beginning, but the reason why it was boring to me is because maybe I'm not understanding the philosophy of this band. Maybe I'm not sure, but what I did like about the song is its use of instruments in it. Okay, the violin towards the end. Most rock guys, and I say this with all due respect for everybody who's got a guitar in their hand that puts out chords, they don't hear other instruments. They only hear the guitar. They're guitar framed, okay? But to be able to put the violin in there and create that beautiful melody towards the end, especially, I thought was fantastic. And that's what I feel about Even in Arcadia. Now we get to the next song, Provider. And I'm listening to this song and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I love everything about it, personally. I love the lyrics. I love the way it was sung. I love the way it was played. I love the melody. I just loved everything about it. And Provider could be, for me, one of the reasons. No, I can't say it yet. We got to finish this album, okay? The next track, Democles. I guess I pronounced that right. Maybe not. Who knows? If I don't pronounce it right, I'm sure someone in the comment section will correct me. I know I should be touring, but these chords are kind of boring. Part of the lyric in that song, which I thought was very intriguing and interesting. And here is another example of this band's diversity. So we get to this next song that I probably can't even pronounce. Was it Get Samine or something like that? I got to be honest, I wasn't too thrilled with this song. At this point, one of my least favorites on the album. Now we get to the last track on the album here, Infinite Bass. And, I'm listening to this, and really, I'm not liking it as much as some of the other songs. I think the album closed weak, even though it had a lot of strong guitars. The ending of that song is just, it's just rocking, So, overall, we're going to get to the rating on this song. Are you ready? You better be ready, because you could be shocked at what I give this album. I would love to hear what you guys think about this album, and that's why they have a comment section, right down there. You know where it is. We'll put the little arrow up so you can comment. What are your thoughts on the album? What do you really think about it? But here's my rating scale and what I'm going to rate the record. First, 5 stars is the greatest album of all time. Now, before some of you get ridiculous out there, that means it's the best album ever made. Okay? One of the best albums ever in the history of music. That's 5-star rating. 4 stars is awesome, completely awesome. We love it. It's fantastic. Wow. 3 stars, it's a good record. It's not spectacular. It's good. There's nothing wrong with just good. Okay, there's a difference between spectacular, greatest of all time, and just good, and 3 stars is just good. 2 stars, not so good. 2 stars would be not so good. 1 star would be terrible. Just terrible. This is just terrible. Terrible. And 0 stars, why did you even bother to record it? So, and yes, I've given albums or records 0 and 1 stars before, but this record is different. I'm going to give this album 4 stars or high 3 stars, meaning that it's better than good, but I don't think it's better than amazing, okay? And here's why. I've heard it once. You know how it is when you hear music, you might later decide that it's better than the initial rating. This is my initial rating. You know, sometimes you listen to a record and you love it, and then you realize it's not so good. And sometimes just the reverse. You go, this is a pretty good record, and then you realize, oh, wow, man, this is really good. You know, so the more you listen to it, the more you can really better rate it. I should probably do a follow-up video. What do you think? I read every single comment. I'm excited to hear and get the education from Sleep Token fans, a band that's so mysterious, and what they've done with these names. I mean, you know, what they've done with these names. I mean, you have Vessel on lead vocals. Okay, at least he's got a name. But other than that, you got 2, 3, 4. I mean, is that not... This is the first time in music history I've ever heard of something like that. But if you notice, 2 is who? The drummer. That's because the drummer is really the most important part of the band. He holds it together. He's the groove. He's the timekeeper. He's the maestro. This is the guy your head moves to when you're listening to the song. Your head doesn't move to the guitar. It moves to the beat of the drummer. That's the way it is. Number 2, I love that. Again, have you considered subscribing to the channel? We do everything under the sun when it comes to music. Old school, new school, in between school. I mean, you name it, we do it. That's why we call it affectionately the I Love Music Army, our internet musical global family of friends. We want you to join us and be a special part of it. But for right now on the Steve Champagne Radio Show, I think I got to get me a sandwich. Hey, can you make me a sandwich over there? I would love a sandwich. Absolutely. Till next time, peace with chicken grease. We're out. Woohoo! Sleep Token, baby.